Soy Trek. It's time for Soy Trek. Soy Trek.
Hey, welcome to The Bridge. I am your esteemed host, Britt, and here's your other esteemed host,
Pat.
Yep, that's him. Welcome. We're on the bridge here on the USS Go Fuck Ourselves. And
Go fuck ourselves.
Go fuck ourselves and burn in hell. That's the way to do it, in that order. That's what we're going to do. Because today we watched a little Star Trek Section 31.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, wait, I got that on the soundboard. Yep. It's time, you know. They made the Section 31 movie. We watched it, and today we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, but first, what's new with you? What's going on?
Hey, no. Working for the man.
Working and jerking
Every
for the
damn
man.
goddamn day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know how that be, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thinking about making a latex mask, so I've been researching that lately. So,
What for?
it was just for Ferengi stuff. Make a Ferengi mask.
Oh, for like home invasions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can just like.
I'd be at first I'd be terrified. I'd be like, oh my god, someone's invaded my. I'm like, oh, you're a Ferengi. Oh, take whatever. I got a bunch of Star Trek merch if you want to take that.
It's going to be my mask when Trump enacts the purge. It's going to be the mask I wear when I go through the streets with like a submachine gun, just like
the fucking Death Wish 3 style.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot the giggler.
Oh yeah.
He shot the giggler, man. How about you, Britt? What's been new in Brittown?
Not a whole lot. I'm gonna be moving soon.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, moving back into Seattle from Kirkland, Washington. So,
are you making sure that the new place has a hot tub? Because I feel that's something that you need.
It doesn't have a hot tub, unfortunately, and our hot tub's been shut down like for months now because the fucking
shit.
the filter exploded.
Yeah. I know people be having sex in that thing.
Oh yeah, I've had sex in that thing twice. Hey,
hence why you have to move. Are you excited about moving back to Seattle proper?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be moving to U District, on like 52nd University Way kind of area, which is like right next to Vegan Pizza Pie and Araya's Vegan.
I love pizza pies. Is Pig's Peace still there, or what it's called?
Fucking Hog Heaven.
Yeah, like the vegan grocery store. I used to love that place.
I think it closed down. I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure, but
probably
I'm pretty
did.
sure it did. Because it was like volunteer only, which was really weird. They like didn't pay their
Yeah.
employees basically, and that's not sustainable. But I think they closed down during the pandemic or something like that.
That makes sense. I used to love that place, and I like pizza pie and Aria's. But my complaint about pretty much all Thai food in Seattle is they just never made it spicy enough. No matter how much you would you would say like, "Oh, I want it 5 spice," and it would come to you as the most unspiciest thing that they could ever make in their life.
You got to say like Thai 5 spice, not white man 5 spice.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then you also, but you can also always ask for. You can be like, do you have like the chili tray? Because they usually have like a thing, like a little like thing with like 3 different types of chilies, like dry chili, like a chili sauce, and then something else, like the stuff they use in the kitchen, basically.
Yeah.
And so like you can always ask for that, and get that, and just make your shit spicier. It's up to you, man.
That's true.
You can always
I know.
ask.
I just one time had it like when I lived in Baltimore. Just like asked for 5, and I did it too cocky, and they made it probably like the spiciest food I've ever had in my life.
Mhm.
I've been chasing that high my entire ever since. And
Yeah, no,
Even though,
you gotta say shit like I like it to hurt or something like that. Like,
yeah, that it did. Like I had to go to the bathroom like not even like an hour later.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it just like worked through my system completely, and it was just like I gotta get this out of my body. My hand was shaking when I brought each bite to my hand.
and you're like, this is the best food I've ever had. I must replicate this awful experience.
I do have. I just bought like the world's most sour candy. I have it.
The world's
I
most
haven't tried it yet.
That's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, it's called Black Death. Like it's supposedly the world's most sour candy. I haven't tried it yet. It's like it was $5 for a little piece,
Just one piece.
just one piece.
It's like one of those challenge foods, like that chip that costs like $5. It's supposed to be extra spicy, and it's not that spicy.
I had it. It ruined my life.
Did it? It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible for me.
I made the mistake of having work the next day, so it was just like running back and forth to the bathroom.
So yeah, what did that to me was I went to Wing Dome and tried to do their spicy wing challenge, and you get like a T-shirt and your name on the wall if you do it.
Oh, nice! Did you get your name on the wall?
No, I didn't complete it. I did not complete it. My brother did though, and the next day, like all day, he was writhing on the bathroom floor. But I had to go to work the next day, and I was just sweating the entire day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
It's
awful.
like-
It was a terrible
your
decision.
body is. It's like basically like poisoning yourself.
It is. It definitely is. Like Caspian, whatever
Yeah,
that is.
capsian. Yeah.
Capsian. That shit is like poison. It's like a plant saying, "Hey, don't eat me."
And then they just actually made themselves more enticing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Fools.
Yeah. Fucking peppers are dumbasses. What a bunch of fucking dipshits. All those peppers.
Dipshit morons.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that we have a Patreon?
I did.
It's over at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. That's pretty cool, huh? So over at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs, I gotta find my note on it. Where did I put my Patreon note? I should just pin it at this point. I keep on losing the Patreon note. Here's Patreon note. Over at Dumb Idiot BS, we've got all types of podcasts, such as The Media Dungeon, Soy Trek, and Prison Breakdown, the 3 active ones. We also have defunct ones like My Wife, Dumb Idiot Bullshit, and Getting Head of Bucket Cast. Overall, we've got like 500 or 600 episodes of shit. Tons of stuff to listen to. It's, you could spend the next year just listening to our podcasts and still probably not get through all of them, because like we have some long ones up in there. Like getting head ended up usually being like 2 hours of a podcast.
Damn.
And then Like, well, I mean, what do you mean, damn? Like, you've, like, early Soy Trek, like, especially when we reviewed movies, we've got, like, 4-hour podcasts up in there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, we got some marathon podcasts where we just talk about every element of the film. Break that motherfucking shit down.
Break it down now.
Break. So for as little as $2 a month, you can help support us, keep us editorially independent and ad-free. You can get all of our podcasts in one place, and you can also vote on what we watch on either here or the Media Dungeon every week. Media Dungeons are movie podcasts, so we watch movies. Right now we're watching like Oscar season movies, and we watch some good ones and some stinkers.
Ooh. I got my brother obsessed with Amelia Perez.
Oh, nice. Like in a bad way?
Yeah, he's just like, it was mind-blowing to him because, of course, like most people, he had never heard of it. And like I didn't even know about it until like it got nominated for an award. But like I sent him on the rabbit hole, and I guess he watches like Katya and Trixie's Mattel's like podcast or something.
Okay,
he's a huge fan of that, and I guess they blamed Amelia Perez for killing David Lynch.
Good, I agree. So for $5 a month, we give you a shout out every week and say thank you to people just like what should we do here? Oh, here we go. Nathan G. Papa Poison Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Gabe Siciliano, Robert Yolito, Asha Pliskin, Ethan Adams, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Vinny Gursky, Joe Moore, Kyle Simmons, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, Anthony Cabrera, Phil McCavity, Danny, Dylan Lance, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Luna Dahlia, Professor David Grading Sides, Dandy Leone, Beeflig, Teddy, Jody, Shrimp God, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Lark Benile, Skeptic, Gillian McCrary, SFC Punk, 7 of 9, Star Trek Enjoyer, D. Riker, former Twink, and our good friends over at the Hate Speech Podcast. Hi.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, so those are our supporters. We thank each and every one of them for $10 a month. What do you get? You
get access to the Media Dungeon. You get access to the motherfucking Media Dungeon. You know what we got down here? We've got 21,000 films. We've got 1,600 shows. Regularly updated. Right now, I'm putting up Severance. I got the first 2 episodes up on there. You know who else has the other 2 first episodes? Apple. Where it airs. What else we got down here? We got torture. We got torture in the dungeon. We got lots of torture for y'all.
Some good old torture.
Yeah, it's a media server. You get access to it. It's a great fucking deal. Like a lot of people just stop using all other streaming services and just stream off my shit because I got shit you can't find nowhere else. Yeah, and then for $20 a month, you get access to
merchandise. We're selling some merchandise.
Yeah,
that's merchandise.
That is merchandise. Either every month or every other month, I send out merch, depending on how much it costs me. I'm going to be sending out sweatpants here coming soon. Everyone likes sweatpants.
I'm wearing those Slut Trek sweatpants right now.
Hell yeah. Everyone loves those. The Slut Trek ones are a classic. I still have a bunch of blanks. Maybe I'll just do the Slut Trek. Maybe I'll just do a classic.
Why not?
Classic. Why not, baby? All right. So yeah, that's what we got up in there. What's the weirdest thing you ever jerked off into? I've talked about this on the show. What's the weirdest thing you ever slammed your dick into? Cabinet? Refrigerator?
Every time, well, I haven't yet,
Mhm.
but it is like always on my mind. Like when I'm like moving like this massive piece of sheet metal into the shear,
Yeah.
and it's like crotch level,
Yeah.
and so like I'll drop it down sometimes, and so like, but I always try to move, like force my pelvis out a bit, so I don't come close to just like actually dropping it on my junk.
Cool. Good
But
call.
it always worries me. I've actually caught part of my palm of my hand between it, and it's given me a blood blister. So
Oh no. I'm
I
sorry.
pinched my dick right off.
Brup! that's the sound you'd make if it pinched your dick right off.
All my coworkers would look at me. They'd be like, "Well, what's going on, Pat?" Just pinched my dick off.
just lost my dick. Nothing new.
Just one
Could
of those.
could someone, call an ambulance and get me a gun?
Yeah. Actually, don't even bother with the ambulance. Just get me the gun right now. Smash my head in with a rock.
No, you could always. There's always hope though. You could get a Franken penis like John Wayne Bobbitt. Yeah, and then you could have a movie called Franken penis like John Wayne
Is he
Bobbitt.
still alive?
I think. I don't know. Who cares?
He's
an
one
abuser.
of my
He's
favorite
a
things
piece
about
of
it is
shit.
like I heard like he basically, to get a boner, he had like a like one of those, remember the Reebok pump it up sneaker things
Yeah.
where you would like pump, like I guess he had like a button on the back of his balls that he would use to pump up his.
That rocks.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
cool.
hope they actually made the button look like a basketball, just like on the sneakers.
Oh, that'd be so sick. He'd be like, ball is life, and pumps it right up.
All his life.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's our Patreon. Patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. Go check it out. It's pretty friggin' cool. All right. I've been dreading this. Before we get into it, today we're talking about the Star Trek Section 31 movie. Let's talk about Section 31 and the back history of Section 31. So Section 31 first appeared in one of the latter seasons, I think season 6 of DS9, specifically with its agent Sloan. And like Section 31 was not widely known. It was like a very secretive organization in Starfleet that like no one really knew about.
Yeah.
And
And
like,
it's almost like you have to ask, like, yeah, who did they answer to? Did they actually answer to like the president of the Federation?
the answer to Starfleet, apparently, is what this movie kind of establishes, because they have a Starfleet overseer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it was interesting that they after being introduced in section and Deep Space Nine, they later retroactively reintroduced them kind of during the Kirk era, during like Star Trek Into Darkness, where they were specifically referenced. Like Khan took out like a Section 31 operation that was like in a library or something. It's like, but like, yeah, like I think like Pike knew about it because Pike was like, that was a Section 31 headquarters or whatever that he took out.
And guess who was involved in both of those films?
Alex Kurtz.
Alex motherfucking Kurtzman, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so
And I guess that is like like showing his like first initial obsession with
the CIA.
the CIA. Yeah.
The CIA. He also worked on Alias, which is about the CIA, that had CIA consultants on set under J.J. Abrams. Like him and J.J. Abrams are like obsessed with the CIA. Like that's their the thing they get the rocks off on. They think it's the coolest organization.
Yeah, I mean, cool. They're basically whitewashing the CIA's history because they've created the entire narrative where like oh, we need like guys who do like the bad things for the right reasons.
We
And
need
that's-
shady clandestine organizations and like spycraft in order to like actually do the right thing. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the history of the CIA when they were first started by like, you know, the Dulleses, it's like it's anything but that. It's like taking out democratically elected governments in South America.
Yeah,
it's creating
It's
false flag operations to start wars
it's a
with communist governments.
it's like the clandestine wing of the like the Trade Commission, like it's
Yeah.
or the Chamber of Commerce rather.
Yeah, they don't do things for the betterment of human society. They do things for the betterment of capital and their own power.
Yeah.
and securing their own power, which basically that's what Sloan was also doing
Mhm.
when he was first introduced in Deep Space Nine, because he was a villainous character that gave like, you know, it was like given as like a moral quandary for Bashir. You know, it's like to test his ideals to the Federation
Mhm.
and see if like, you know, is he going to do things the right way or this like evil way that is probably completely unnecessary and evil. And it's just like, and you know, and that's Bashir was given a choice and he chose to fight them and
Yeah, to not
basically
be evil.
kill Sloan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, which yeah. So, gosh, this fucking movie.
But I gotta say though, with that being said,
Mhm.
this didn't come off. I actually was surprised. This actually didn't come off as spycraft to me. It
Mhm.
more came off as like, and that's the thing. Like, you could have made like a Section 31 movie, like doing the sort of like Alias, like sort of like political intrigue type, subterfuge type movies.
Mhm.
But this wasn't that.
No,
This
no.
felt more like a group of ragtag mercenaries.
Mhm.
It didn't feel like they were working behind the scenes or working for like a clandestine, you know, group. I mean, they seemed to operate pretty much in the open,
Mhm.
and also didn't seem to seem and yeah, they just came off more of as a Suicide Squad than anything else.
Right.
And it was also
Suicide-
directed pretty much like the Suicide Squad,
yeah,
with lots of like,
but it was also
you know-
directed exactly like a really long episode of Star Trek Discovery.
yeah, like that's the thing. Like that if had it like shaved 30 minutes, this would have just been like an episode of Star Trek Discovery,
Mhm. Bingo.
just with like, you know, same level of character development and just sort of like nihilism.
This film did make me nihilistic, and it made me
Yeah.
unhopeful for the future of Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like Paramount doesn't want to have like Star Trek. It seems like they're just trying to make the most like, you know, unfranchise related material with it and release that on them and try to in order to make money, because it's like, this is like the first like Star Trek film,
Mhm.
quote unquote, to not feature a single uniform. And
That's true. I didn't.
yeah, there's
think
not a
about
single
that.
uniform. I thought Quasi was wearing one at one point, but I was wrong. That was just his.
Was
Is-
was Control or the hologram of Control wearing
No.
uniform?
No, I mean, well, that's the thing. I think she was just wearing a black turtleneck.
Oh, okay.
We don't even see like the black Delta insignia.
We don't actually. That's a good point. That's interesting. We don't.
I don't even think we see a single Delta insignia.
This isn't a Star Trek film. Like, I think this feels like they like repackaged it and like maybe just like ADR'd the word like Starfleet over and Control over like
I
you
mean,
know, the
except for like
government.
the fact there are like recognizable Star Trek alien races in it,
That's true. That is true.
and really recognizable Star Trek terms, all that stuff. Like,
That's true.
Otherwise, like, yeah, I mean, it could have just been like, blank adventure, a space adventure movie.
And that's basically what it is. I mean, it's a space adventure that has very little to do with the universe of Star Trek. One good thing I will say about the movie is it doesn't mess with any sort of continuity. It doesn't retcon anything. It's just a little side quest.
Yeah, I mean, it does feature like an established character from Star Trek, like Rachel Garrett, who later becomes like the captain of the Enterprise C, you know, and is in that really good episode, where she actually goes forward in time, and Tasha Yar, and I really like that episode because that was almost as like what that should have kind of like my idea for, because it showed like how, because she went forward in time, like the Starfleet was more militaristic. It was much darker.
Was this yesterday's Enterprise or?
Huh?
Was this yesterday's Enterprise or?
I think so. Is it the one where like it has like
they have to go
Shooter
back through
McGavin.
the void? Yeah.
And like Shooter McGavin's in it, and they have to send her back in time to pretty much die and lose in a battle, but it prevents like a war with the Klingons.
Right.
And so I was surprised to see Rachel Garrett in there. But I mean, I guess it kind of like doesn't really do much with her. I mean, it doesn't really do anything much with any of the characters. Like, it's like a really quick introduction, and then it's just like, all right, well, let's get this over with. It doesn't even really do much with the character of Philippa Georgiou either.
No, it doesn't.
Like the main character, like she's for this movie ostensibly being about Philippa Georgiou, like she's the main character. She doesn't have much going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is kind of about her backstory, and like something comes back to haunt her from the past, but like.
Yeah, but that was, I don't know. You could see that coming a mile away. I was just like, oh, we're introducing a character. Like in the first 15 minutes, we're introducing like a character who is like, who she didn't kill, who's supposed to be like, her slave. Oh, and there's like also in the current day, there's like this mysterious masked figure who's like besting her in battle, and and stuff like that. It's like, oh wow, I wonder who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just, everything felt telegraphed from a million miles away. It just didn't hold much in the way of surprises.
No,
for me, like it didn't, and that's something that you kind of would expect from a movie, because like if you look at like other like movies dealing with like covert intelligence, like there's always like the backstabs, the double agents, and and all that stuff, and like there's other people working for their own angle and shit like that, and this has just kind of felt extremely lazy.
Yeah.
like didn't make sense in a lot of ways.
So let's talk a little bit about the movie, when it came out, who made it, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So Section 31 came out on January 24th, 2025, which is 4 days ago by the time we're recording this. I watched it the day it came out, and I was like, what the fuck? Let's see. Its runtime is 95 minutes. So, about as long, I think, is the finale of Star Trek Discovery.
Same director too, wasn't it?
Yes, same director too. The director is Olatunde Osunsanmi, who directed 14 episodes of Star Trek Discovery. So basically a season of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
So in one of the most tenured directors, if not the most tenured director on that show. So this is basically an episode of Star Trek Discovery, because also the screenplay is by Craig Sweeney, who wrote an episode of Star Trek Discovery and was a consulting producer on there. Craig Sweeney has only ever written for television. He's written a lot of television, but only ever for television.
And that, and the fact that there's like so many guys just from Star Trek Discovery, it makes sense because it has the same plot that all 5 seasons of Discovery had. There is like a super weapon that's going to destroy the entire universe, and we have to stop it.
And we have to chase after it. Yeah.
And we have to chase after it.
Yeah, it was definitely a truncated version of a season of Discovery.
That's why, like,
Michael
I
Burnham.
mean, like part of the history of this movie is the fact that like they were planning an entire season, or at least an entire series, until Michelle Yeoh won the Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and so then she became
so
too hot of a commodity to work for this.
That's kind of what happened. So Michelle Yeoh actually asked for asked Alex Kurtzman for a Section 31 spin-off series, or at least a spin-off series about Georgiou, saying that she loved playing the character and because she wanted to be a role model for young Asian women. Which I'm like, for any other character maybe, but for like a reformed Hitler, like she was a murderous empress who like did genocides and like ate sentient beings for like pleasure. Like she's a fucked up individual. Like and she's like maybe reformed-ish, which is nice, but a role model I wouldn't say at all, ever, couldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand. I don't know. She probably has like Patrick Stewart brain, you know, in her older age, where she's just like, I want to be a villain. I just want to be like evil, pure evil. And,
I want to be cool.
You know,
I want to look cool.
I want to be cool. Yeah, and it's just like, all right, give it a rest. Because I know, like, you know, just like Patrick Stewart, she's basically spent her entire career playing like, you know, the good guys, you know, and stuff like that. And I can kind of understand wanting to have like that quote unquote complexity when it comes to a character, but I don't know. Just like there's, and that's the thing, we never see. There's very little. I mean, all the characters obviously come from some sort of like evil background in a way.
Yeah.
You know, like, but like, you know, it's just like you're literally dealing. This is basically Operation Paperclip. Like. Like
it is 100% Operation Paperclip. It's like, hey, we know you were like murderous and terrible in your other universe, but since you're over here and you don't have the same power that you do there, we know you have skill sets, which is exactly what happened in Operation Paperclip, where we're like, hey, scientists and engineers from Germany who built the Holocaust. You want to maybe help us do a Holocaust?
But don't worry, she won't gain the same level of power she has here because we're a liberal democracy and we can vote her out.
Right.
We won't vote for Space Hitler. Oh God. Oh no. We're voting for Space Hitler. Yeah, it's just that's the thing. Yeah, by the end, like they do play her off as being insanely charismatic and like, you know, running this, you know, when we were introduced to her, she's like running like her own space station, which, not gonna lie, I thought the space station design was pretty cool. Like, I thought that was an interesting design for a space station, but yeah, she already had grabbed so much power in the neutral side of space. It's like, who's to say she won't keep going?
Right? Like, she could just build her own fucking federation and wipe out the federation, like, which would be cool.
She's clearly intelligent. She has the intelligence, skill, and charisma enough to make like something that could, and enough inside for information. Even like when it showed her, you know, go forward in time and the time that she spent on Discovery, like she was like winning over everybody on that show, on that, and you know, and she showed that she knew she could outsmart like the people there. It's just like,
yeah, she's just like in retirement from being emperor. She is like running a hotel casino, which sounds familiar. Who did that?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Uh-oh.
she's running it. Yeah, that'd been funny if it was called like Mar ACH logo or logo or something. Like,
Yeah.
Martok logo.
Yeah, so that's that. So, and I don't know if they're trying to draw a resemblance there, but like I saw that and I'm like, huh, she's doing a Trump thing. That's interesting.
The space station did have golden hues to it. So yeah, I mean, okay, now I totally believe this now.
Yeah, no.
I think I honestly think, yeah, if they had made this series, like Georgiou would be like the president of the Federation by the end of it.
Probably. Yeah. But it'd be sold as like a Hillary win. Like, and I'd be like, no.
She trades that gold armor in for like, pantsuits and stuff.
Pantsuit Georgiou. Let's do it.
That's what Filippo stands for in Thai.
Pantsuit.
Pantsuit Georgiou.
Pantsuit Georgiou. We love it. So, gosh. And the music in this movie was done by Jeff Russo, who did the music in guess what?
Discovery.
Yeah. He was also, I didn't know this. He was one of the founding members of the band Tonic.
Huh.
Which is interesting. Who knew?
That is interesting. Also, speaking of music, though, did you notice sort of like a Star Wars style like refrain?
I noticed a Star Wars style everything in this movie.
That's what I did leave this watching this thinking like, did Alex Kurtzman want to direct Star Wars stuff instead? But he settled for Star Trek.
Yeah.
Just like, J.J. Abrams did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, J.J. Abrams worked his way up from Star Trek, though.
Yeah.
To Star Wars.
You think maybe Alex Kurtzman was trying to do the same thing? Just like, it did come off because, I mean, every single character feels like a smuggler type character. And especially, that would belong better in a Star Wars style TV show rather than like Star Trek.
Yeah, no, the whole thing would feel better in a Star Wars anything than Star Trek, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to talk about the movie?
I mean, there's not too much you can really say.
There really isn't. So we like kind of start. We open up on like a protracted scene that's like Georgiou's past, where she has to complete a task in order to become emperor, and she goes back to visit her family, and she poisons her entire family in order to become emperor, and they all die, and then like the whole empire shows up on our planet, and guess who's there? It's like someone who's to be like, hey, you're emperor now. But also the person who was like competing against you to be emperor, San, failed at killing his family, so he can't be emperor. And I'm like, what happens if they both killed their family? Do they have to be co-emperors then? Like,
I think they probably have to fight to the death or something.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. But they're like lovers,
which I thought was weird. Like they would even like keep. I mean, you have to keep him as your slave. Like, why not just kill him? Like why? Like why?
I think she had that
the
option.
Person who's the second best murderer as your slave.
I think she had that option, but I don't know. But he's also useful apparently because he can build a doomsday device. That is the entire impetus for this film, I guess.
And that's one thing about the Mirror Universe. It's like they seem way too like ready to just like murder each other, where it doesn't seem like that would actually be like a functioning society.
No, it wouldn't. Like they would have killed themselves like the proto Klingons. Like,
yeah, they're just like how would you expect to get anywhere, make any sort of advancement if like you're constantly worrying about like being killed by a rival?
Right.
It's just like it doesn't make any sense, and especially just like it just showed them just wiping out people wholesale. It's just like, but yet in every single Mirror Universe iteration, despite like just happily killing each other. Like every single person is like represented in the mirror universe throughout time.
That's true.
Just like
yeah,
like no one's like
no one's
somehow
been
like
murdered yet.
all the main cast's ancestors were somehow like unscathed by the mass genocide that just happened on a daily basis in the mirror universe.
Yeah, and they all have like kind of similar positions and titles, and have all decided to work for like the same organizations. It's very strange. Yeah, the mirror universe really doesn't make any sense, and it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, it's almost like it's makes me wish like it had just like been like that one TOS episode. I mean, I know TNG didn't do any mirror universe episodes, and we had a couple in Deep Space Nine, which it's like okay, but like I think they started up with way more frequency and like Discovery. Because like, and that's another thing. Yeah, I guess Alex Kurtzman is like really into. Is just like the evil.
Yeah, he likes characters that are just like their motivation to be evil is just nebulous, and they're just like, I like being evil because it's the evil thing to do.
Yeah. But I mean, I think they did a good job showing like, oh yeah, Georgiou eats human beings. She eats Doug Jones's character, or his species. Like she's just like she eats sentient races. Like,
yeah, which is not.
Which is funny because also like the good universe Philippa Georgiou was eaten by Klingons.
Yeah, that's very poetic, I think.
Yeah.
So after this protracted scene, she like burns Sand's face, and he's like her, slave now. Then we get this mission screen opening that's like a voiceover of like I don't know who does it. It's definitely not. I
think it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. So Jamie Lee Curtis has a kind of a I don't know if it's a cameo really at the end of this film. I guess it is kind of a cameo where she like is in a hologram and plays like Control basically and gives him a mission.
Yeah, you could tell like Michelle Yeoh, since they started with each other. Like it was funny, like after I watched it, like I went and took a piss, and I'm like, as I was peeing, I'm like, oh, that's right, they're both in everything everywhere all at once.
Right.
So I'm
probably
sure
called in that favor.
Like, yeah, she's probably they probably became friends afterwards and were just like, hey, I'm filming this piece of shit.
Yeah. But I can get you a paycheck for just like doing a fucking cameo, basically, like literally recording it on your phone. They can fucking
literally
doll
cameo,
it up.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, done. $1 million in the bank. Time to make more posts confusing Israel, confusing the bombed out remains of Palestine as Israel.
I wonder if they're making any more Halloween films.
Yeah.
So after this terrible mission screen opening that just like shows basically like a computer screen for like 3 minutes, like clicking through different things, like showing us the mission.
Yeah, basically like catching you up with what happened after like it said like, oh, Philippa Georgiou is gonna go back in time and be in fucking Section 31. And it's just like, oh, by the way, things have radically changed because I guess like the script, whoever wrote the initial script decided to change it radically from to something completely different. So
cool.
There's a whole bunch of story to catch up on.
Yeah. So next we go to a bar. It's like in the middle of space that Georgiou is running. It's like a big like hotel casino bar thing. Very Trumpian. And it's like there's like a very, I don't know, very like Fifth Element coded like opera singer there doing.
I was getting that. Yeah, I was like, this seems like yeah, like it's like Fifth Element.
But it's
like
it has Fifth Element, but also Jabba's Palace.
And also, did you notice that singer? She basically every single time it cut to her, she was singing a different style of music.
Yeah,
which is like she's just a jukebox.
Yes. Yeah, she's one of those like live cover band things, but it's basically just like karaoke.
Yeah, it's basically doing like the Whose Line Is It Anyway, where they take suggestions from the audience and make a song on the spot.
Yeah.
All right, I'm hearing country western about a country buffet.
Waffle stomping in the country buffet bathroom. Okay, yeah. Into the floor drain.
And here we go.
There's like this doomsday device we find out, and Georgiou had San make it back when she was emperor. San faked his death when it got delivered to her, and some gangster has recovered it, and he's trying to sell it in the regular universe, like at Georgiou's bar. So they get the device, and together with a team of like 6 Section 31 operatives, they have to like recover the doomsday device after they lose it and stop San or whatever. I don't know. That's the whole plot of the film. It's the entire plot of the film. Like the entire plot is get the MacGuffin, and there's the only other thing that happens in the movie really there's
is
a mole.
There's
a mole.
The mole plot where you have to figure out who the mole is, and I don't know, it just seemed to do we want to briefly talk about like the operatives?
Yeah. Let's talk about let's talk about the actors in this film. So, of course, we've got Georgiou, and we're first introduced to Alok, who's played by Omari Hardwick, who's this guy who was like frozen during the eugenics wars.
He was like a reluctant augment.
Yeah, reluctant augment in the eugenics wars, and he was frozen in time, and then came back like a couple hundred years later and joined Section 31. I guess that's his backstory.
Yeah.
Then we've got Zeph, played by Robert Kaczynski, who I actually kind of liked in this film. And he's the dumb guy. He's the dumb guy he has like body dysmorphia, so he wears a big metal suit that does most of the work for him.
Which is interesting because you typically have not seen this kind of person exist, because he almost looks like a Borg.
Yeah.
At some points. And he does come off very Borg-like, but I think he's supposed to be sort of like also just kind of coming off as more of like a Ronin samurai type guy.
Yeah, but dumb as fuck. He's just like the heavy. He's just the heavy. Yeah. Like he's the dumb heavy. Hey boss. Guy with like a dumb haircut, but he's like a foot taller than the boss.
He does have the alt-right haircut.
He does. He definitely does. This guy, he's definitely like a proud boy in a mech suit. But mech suits make sense in the Star Trek universe, but you never see them, and so that's when I saw it. I was like, "This is so like Star Wars. This is like not Star Trek at all."
I was about to say he does look a lot like Forrest Whitaker's character from Rogue One.
Okay, yeah. I feel that
this sort of trash samurai kind of guy just like cobbled together a bunch of like different like stuff. It doesn't actually look good or cohesive, but it's functional. That's another thing. Like I didn't understand why it didn't look cohesive, because it just seems like he's just like he could have no, I guess this is post replicator. I think he could have replicated that shit. Yeah, this is a post scarcity type of thing, man. Like you can't get that shit made. Like you're that obsessed with it, but yeah. It was interesting. Like it kind of, you almost kind of wish like kind of these characters could have been fleshed out more, but they're really not, because they're just like, all right, keep it going.
Yep, we only got 93 minutes to fucking get this show on the road. So y'all only got 3.5 minutes of exposition the entire film. So next we have Fuzz, who's like this little guy that's controlling a Vulcan body, and this was just cringe.
Yeah, the Nanokin, and he's basically the Joker of this crew.
He is. He's like constantly going and shit. And
yeah, he definitely sees things a little kooky. Like he
does things a little differently around here.
Yeah, when he sees a crazy straw, he just sees a straw.
Yeah, right. Yeah. he's a kooky guy, but he's dumb and he's not that fun to watch. He's like supposed to be comic relief, but every time he talks, I'm like, no, you should have given the scene to Sam Richardson, which is who we come next to. Quasi, played by Sam Richardson, who's a shapeshifter, and we love Sam Richardson.
I love him
on this podcast. Veep, incredible. Fucking, of course, Detroiters, incredible. His work on I Think You Should Leave, also incredible.
And that's the thing, like, he actually got laughs out of me, mostly because, like, every time he said a line, I imagined him saying it, and I think he should leave.
Right. No, he's just, like, charming and, like, fun to watch. And he plays, like, a charming and fun to watch guy in this film, but, like, he's not written that charming or fun to watch. They just tell you he's charming, and I'm like, all right.
It's just like his line delivery of just like of garbage lines is just funny, because you can almost imagine him saying it like as like, you know, the ghost of Christmas way future or something like that.
Next we have Rachel Garrett, who's later Captain Rachel Garrett, who we see in yesterday's Enterprise, played by Casey Roll, who's a young Starfleet officer there to make sure no one gets murdered, because we're Starfleet and we don't murder people. And I'm like, okay, so
despite the fact that they basically threatened to torture a man, you know, they threatened to torture like robot face guy, and that's just like, wow, cool. We're still doing torture. Yeah,
torture is cool, dude. Torture is like the thing that the CIA does to get shit done, man.
Torture saves lives.
Torture saves lives. You can take that to the bank. And then finally we have Mel, played by Humberly Gonzalez, which is just a great name.
How is her real life name cooler than her character name?
They should have just gone with Humberly Gonzalez. I'm like, that's a Star Trek ass name. That's like, what? Okay, yeah, I'll go with that.
Sure, all right.
Yeah, that's the name of something you like make in the fucking holodeck to have sex with. Like, hi, I'm Humberly. Like,
Computer
Humberly.
One Humberly.
No, wait, two Humberly. But they're a Deltan who can do like mind control, but they're killed like pretty early on.
Yeah, like, and it sucks because like you haven't really seen too many Deltans. You know, like
you have like
in
TOS
Star Trek since
the
motion picture, I think, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like they're a race that were, you know, obviously invented by Gene Roddenberry because he's a horny freak, right. And they just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, it's sad.
So yeah, I was excited to see a Deltan again, but alas.
All right. So that's the team. They do some mission stuff and then just decide there's a mole. Like fucking unilaterally, Georgiou's like, we were double crossed. There's a mole, and everyone like blames each other.
They spent so much time in this mole plot.
They did. It's like half of the movie, and I'm like, I don't frankly care.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if they had like built these characters up more, if they had a rapport and were likable, like I can see caring if there's a mole. You know, it's just like, this isn't like a Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy type thing. You know, this is kind of just like, wow, okay, yeah. I mean, it's obviously the guy who said he can control robot bodies and can be in two places at once, and is a Joker. Is the Joker. It's just like, who else would the mole be besides the insane Joker guy?
Yeah, they keep trying to place it on the Starfleet officer Rachel Garrett, and it never sticks. And they even like hold her at gunpoint and shit.
Yeah.
and like threaten
Which
to
would have
kill
been
her.
interesting. It could have been an interesting twist because like they don't know who Rachel Garrett is, but we know who Rachel Garrett is.
Mm-hmm.
And what if she actually wasn't Rachel Garrett at all? Maybe she was.
Ooh, but
Maybe
that,
she could have been like someone posing as fucking Rachel Garrett.
well, that's a good
That would have
point.
been a twist.
Ooh, or if it turned out it was Quasi posing as Rachel Garrett.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't use his powers at all.
Nah, not
Like, why
really.
even make him a changeling?
One time he like saves someone, and then like he uses it like once or twice in the film, but not much. Yeah,
He
It's not
doesn't. Well, he
useful.
doesn't like really like change into anyone as a matter of as a form of subterfuge or infiltration.
Yeah, I mean there was that original plan that they had, but then they changed the plan to get the Doomsday device
Yeah, it's just like.
to be the.
But that's the
simpler
thing.
one.
Like,
Yeah.
if there were smarter writers who could actually write like an interesting plot where they need subterfuge, like infiltration, and
Mhm.
just like sort of like a Mission Impossible fucking type thing.
So
Obviously they
that's
use,
that's
like-
what they sold the movie as, is Mission Impossible meets Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm like, you did neither of those things.
Yeah, I mean, at least like that has some, like at least Mission Impossible. It is an action movie, but it does have some level of just like, just intrigue and just like, and Machiavellian dealings and all this other shit, and it's just like it makes it seem like it's smarter than it actually is, but it's just like
Right,
this doesn't even
and that's
attempt it.
maybe that's my biggest criticism of this film, is it is not a smart film.
No,
It's not a
That's-
film that like challenged me to think about anything. It's a film that was on the rails, very straightforward, like very like telegraphed for you. There was no real like, I didn't really care about any of the intrigue that there was, and the only intrigue there was like, who's the mole, and then who's the big bad, who's doing this. But you knew the entire time, like from like the first scene, exactly who the big bad would be.
Yeah. Oh, obviously it's going to be the guy we introduce in the first 5 minutes who has a badass scar on his face.
Right.
Who else, literally else could it be?
Literally, you didn't introduce any other characters that could be the villain. Like, unless you're bringing back Khan.
Or the Borg.
Right.
Thinking about the Borg again. Yeah. It's like there was literally nowhere for it to go, and it's just like it was basically like, yeah, I think in the first, like, watching it, like when she sears, like when she didn't kill the guy and just seared him and scarred him, like, oh, he's the main villain.
Mhm. Yep. Bingo. Telegraphed. Thank you. Thanks for the update film.
Yeah.
Oh. Gosh.
Yeah, because it doesn't even try to do like it tries to do like the like was it 007 GoldenEye, where like Sean Bean, is killed
Mhm.
in it, like he like fakes his own death very convincingly, and then appears, and they do the thing where he's like, I'm dying, but it's just like, no, I don't believe it, because there really is no one else like the villain could be.
Mhm.
Like that would make sense.
No. So, they find out who has the Doomsday device. Surprise, it's San. And then we find out who the mole is. Surprise, it's Fuzz, the little guy in the Vulcan body.
It's the Joker.
It's the Joker. The Joker double-crossed us. But yeah, then we have so many fight scenes in this film. There's probably, in this 95-minute film, there's probably 20 or 25 minutes of just like fighting.
And it's insane given the fact that Michelle Yeoh is a famous martial artist.
They waste her martial arts on here.
But I understand, like, obviously she's in her 60s now. Like, she can't be doing like, even like Jackie Chan is like someone who's like someone who doesn't really, who stopped like martial arts movies like years ago. It's just like obviously she'll do some, but not a lot. But yeah, this is just like a lot of the martial arts is hidden with like the cuts and the zooms, and so we never really get a scale of her of her actual skill level of like how good she actually is. You know, it's just like very close up martial arts. And it's just like, okay. And very blurry, and you just don't care. You don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, lots of fight scenes. They save the day, and they're now like, oh, and then also Fuzz invaded Zeph's suit and made Zeph kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I don't know. That's like all that really happens in the film. Then Jamie Lee Curtis shows up via hologram, via cameo, and she's like, hey, y'all are in Section 31. You're a team now. And that's it.
Isn't that how you're supposed to do like clandestine, like secret meetings out in the open in public?
In a bar.
At a
fucking
crowded
bar. Right. At a hotel casino.
You should just fucking have like, you know, you're the head of your organization talking to you on a massive hologram thing in the middle of a room surrounded by people you don't know.
Yep,
that's a great idea.
That's safe. It's safe. It's good for you.
And that's why this didn't make me think of like Mission Impossible, Star Trek. It didn't make me think of like any sort of like, you know, covert intelligence type thriller. Like it just felt like Suicide Squad, like a bunch of mercenaries getting together to do something and that aren't actually attached to some sort of like, it's also like the fact that these guys are, every single person in this is so unstable.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder how they would have been chosen to be, especially like
because they're
Fuzz.
All so quirky.
Yeah, like how would you choose Fuzz of all people to be in your secret organization? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, he's not very secretive. He draws too much attention.
So does Zeph. Zeph has like that stupid giant suit. Who's like, and she basically like Michelle Yeoh basically points this out. She's like, I made all of you like instantly because you're all so obvious and stupid. And so it's just like, okay, so these guys, that's the thing. They just feel like a bunch of dumbasses, like the CIA would hire to do fucking Project Mongoose, but not actually try to involve any actual CIA operatives in it. You know, only from working from a distance. Like these are the idiots that you make as the fall guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this film sucked.
Yeah, I was like, I did say like that's not what I was expecting. It really wasn't, because like I actually kind of thought it was going to be more evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like it actually wasn't as evil as I thought it was going to be. Like it was just kind of like, all right, that happened. Like
it's like banal. It's like the banality of evil though, because it's like, hey, fucking the CIA is fun, which, you know, like fucking secret operative organizations are fun and they do fun things, and everyone in them is quirky and they do a good thing for the world. Like the way it's selling these types of things, I think, is a really weird kind of evil. And the way it's whitewashing organizations like the CIA and the FBI, who are not working in the interests of the American people most of the time. You know, they're working in the interests of the Chamber of Commerce. It is showing them as like cool guys you can be friends with. Mm-hmm. And
these are like the dudes you want to be chilling with and just shooting the shit with, and the cool organization called the CIA. This is
an episode, a really long episode of 24, but set in the Star Wars universe. And yes, I said the Star Wars universe.
After a lobotomy.
Yeah.
I think actually 24 is probably more smarter than this, you know. So it's like this. Yeah, I mean, it did make me kind of depressed, just because, you know, we have like Lower Decks, but like there is very few Star Trek properties that make me feel nostalgic for like, you know, TNG heights level Trek. You know, it just kind of just feels like it's something all of its own animal. And I think it's because like people like Alex Kurtzman, I think, really have a low opinion of the viewing public and think like they just want the slop. But I think but the fact that like, you know, younger people, like people who didn't grow up with Star Trek, you know, you get them fucking watching like TNG and they're fucking hooked. Like,
or DS9. Yeah.
Or Deep Space Nine or even TOS, like they'll watch that shit and be like, this is amazing. And it's just like, and I think they misjudge like the fact that like, you know, people go back and fucking watch old episodes all the time. Like I do all the time. Like I think most people, and it's just like, you know, we yearn for the TNG mines. You know, just like we don't.
It's weird. It's weird to me that Alex Kurtzman does not get that, but you know who does? Which I hate to say this, is Seth fucking MacFarlane.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, like the Orville is a better nostalgic journey into Star Trek than any of the new Star Trek, save Lower Decks, maybe Strange New Worlds at times.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, he gets it. I don't think too many people watch the Orville, though.
Yeah, I don't think too many people watch like Discovery though either.
No, they don't. But yeah, just like, yeah, I mean, I think people do want that because I don't know, it's just you want, like, I know I personally like sci-fi because it gives like a hopeful vision of the future. You know,
right.
Obviously there is the dystopian shit you can get into. You know, that stuff's like, you know, cool. But, you know, typically even dystopian sci-fi stories, they typically have like a good, like a bit of hope at the end or something. Right. And just showing like that even after something so terrible, you can make a change to get better. And this is just like, I mean, nothing gets better.
Right. No. Like one could even argue that like Star Wars is dystopian.
Yeah.
Oh, and
a universe of perpetual war.
yeah, exactly. Like a universe of perpetual war controlled by an empire,
by a weird sexless cult.
Right.
And that's one thing also why, like, going back, like I think that's why they killed Mel off so soon, is because of like the, you know, makers putting 2-minute sex scenes in in TV shows. They had to kill off like the sexiest, horniest character like immediately because things now just have to be so sexless and it's just like there's no like romance subplot really except for like between Georgiou and San, and that doesn't even make sense.
No.
And that's just like lots of hugging.
Right.
It's just like, nope. There's no sort of like this. Guess what, everyone? This is sex free.
Yeah, and yeah. Yep, it's not sexy. It's not fun, really. It really tries to be fun though. Like it really makes an attempt at being fun. Doesn't hit that mark. Doesn't really do it for me.
No, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, if you look at the movie, say a movie like True Lies, which is about a CIA agent,
and also has Jamie Lee Curtis.
And Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah,
in one of the sexiest stripteases ever. When I saw that when I was like 13, I was like, "Damn, I got to go try this masturbation thing."
Yeah. Like I got to take the VHS tape into the bathroom for a while. It's just
like going frame by frame, looking at the tape, like,
yeah, you have it up by the light, like, yes,
almost there.
Brad, what the fuck did you do to the VHS copy of True Lies? But yeah, like True Lies is fun. It's hilarious. Like obviously it's about CIA agents, so it's evil.
It is.
It's just like
it is Tom Arnold.
Yeah, as Arnold,
and
of course,
Arnold,
it's a James Cameron joint. So it's just like, but yeah, it's sexy. It's fun.
It's a
hilarious.
good ass movie. I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, it has badass fucking action scenes. Like Arnold does some crazy ass shit. He's hilarious in it. Arnold, that was one of the first movies I really understood that Arnold's a comedian.
Yeah, no,
But, like-
Arnold's funny as fuck, straight up.
Yeah, but I think that's probably like the type of movie they should have aimed for instead of like bootleg Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy. But it's neither here nor there.
Yep. Well, that's that. What would you give the film on a rating of 1 to 10?
I think I gave it out.
Yeah, I gave it a similar. Also,
Oh yeah, lots of epic noise sound things.
but I also gave it a.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the actual viewer reviews, like I haven't seen I've seen very few positive reviews of
No, my favorite one was this looks more like Fortnite with Star Trek skins than Star Trek.
it. That's very true. Yeah, because like as we said, like there's not a single Starfleet uniform in this, or even like recognizable Starfleet ship.
Not really, no.
Yeah, there's nothing that you could just point to. Yeah, I mean, just does come off as like generic space adventure show, but
Right. It almost comes off as like a Star Trek show where they were trying to skirt around IP law.
yeah,
Like, well, we can't use the uniforms, but we can say Starfleet. So,
they're like, we don't want to get sued by Paramount. Wait a minute, we are Paramount. They just remembered at the end. They're like, oh fuck, oh I'll just run through.
yeah. I gave this one on a 1 to 10, 2.
That's generous. I gave it 1. Like I was just like, man, you know, it's almost kind of insane. Like it's considered to be among like, you know, Star Trek: The Voyage Home. It's a Star Trek film.
Right. But I mean, at least one positive thing about this film is it has united all Trekkies in the fact that this is the worst Star Trek film. Which is it's a great day for me because I stand Star Trek 5, and previously a lot of people held that in regard as the worst Star Trek film. Those people, they're crying today. They knew I was right. Star Trek 5 is not the worst Star Trek film.
Maybe that's a shirt you can make for the next merch drop. Star Trek 5, the second worst Star Trek film.
And then on the back, it just says Section 31 is a cunt.
Yeah. Congratulations for Star Trek 5 being the second worst film.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say about that. You got anything more to say on this fucking movie?
Nah, I'm good. I'm probably gonna wipe it completely from my mind.
I'm gonna wipe it completely from my ass because it's a big piece of shit. Well, that's that. Thanks for hanging with us, Trekkies. If you liked our show, please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. And of course, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/dumbidiotbs.
All right. Thanks for checking with us, soy boys, girls, and other worldly beings.
Hang a dong.
Hang dong.
And shocker.
Shocker.
Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Hey everybody, it's the Grap. It's time for the robot rap. Everyone here on the street, get up, stand up upon your feet. It's time to do the robot dance. Come on everybody, take a chance. Robots, do make friends. Hey, listen, I'm doing my best out here. I'm trying to do my best. Listen, hey, you know what? You know what? I'm just a rapping robot and I'm trying to entertain you. I got the mic up here. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You know what? You know what? Fuck this. Fuck all you. Fuck you motherfuckers. I'm out.